impact on the social organization of urban and agriculture or in class convention in French and districts. The main objective of French urban policy since 2003 has been to visible transform large housing areas and also with innovative living environment. How relevant programs about demolition, new housing, and studying architectural and urban forms of renovate large housing districts can lead us to question how relevant the programs about demolition, new housing, and rehabilitation projects have been. Also able to examine the urban forms of the public and residential areas presented by these programs, evaluating the impact of the transformation of renovated districts could help to understand what really makes of change in the way they are perceived and minimize their negative sides. Could the physical transformations of these districts affect both images, could their changing their perception and through imagination? The French state has developed a whole body of iconography which supports version of the urban police in large housing areas, showing the decay, the physical degradation of a buildings. A range of terminology referring to these districts has accompanied and justifies the restoration campaign since 2003. From the emblem of large housing areas to their stigmatization. Producing large housing areas from the 1950 to 17 has definitely marked the urban and architectural landscape in France and in the world. The large housing area is to be considered as a period in French urbanization. It symbolizes a context of housing shortage and emergency with a significant government presence and the implementation of an innovative ideology conveyed through the PACTE Charter. This globally understood and solitary architecture was meant to bring comfort, welfare, functionally homes which were often intended for a mixed population. From 1945, the state appealed to the media, photography, publication, to promote this policy and to defend it. This image took part in developing a speech on modernity, on the ideal city, on the visionary state at the origin of this erection. In less than 60 years, the urban and architectural form of large housing areas, which presented as low-rise buildings and tower and range, have been enthusiastically offered has finally been named a problem estate, a derogatory term in popular imagery. There has been a massive demolition of such urban forms, which were considered as pathological. Urban renewal has aimed at helping this district to develop into France. Strategy, progress and opportunity. The border law dated 1 August 2003 and now reoriented the urban policy by leading the rehabilitation of district being it focused in intensive restructuring operation based on massive demolition and various reconstruction in order to break the urban ghetto. Urban renewal has aimed at helping this district to develop into ordinary urban areas, characterized by very functional and houses type, and opening on it with the rest of the city, the public space quality together with an improvement in the inhabitants' living environment. In the integration within the urban renewal project were an opportunity for large housing districts to improve the inhabitants' living environment and to restore the image of the district. And this integration fully succeeded in modifying the image of the district. The image provided by the new operation is indeed a major lever for action in the success of the National Urban Regeneration Programs, PNR. Urban architectural and landscape quality makes it possible to develop new contacts with the site, the public space, the buildings and housing, serving a sustainable development of those districts. Moreover, improving the living environment is a major factor to make district attractive and the low position than within the city. Lastly, the selected architectural option can contribute to standardize these frequently stigmatized districts and integrate them better within their urban environment. Example of urban project, but we have seen example with Philippe too. Demolitions for new construction and social mixing. New construction with housing, public equipment. The social mixing of the district and the functional diversity. Public space to improve a better living environment. Rehabilitation, transformation and sustainable development. Residential units, private, public, feeling of security. In the integration within the urban renewal project, where opportunity of large restore the image of the district, as this intervention fully succeeded in modifying the image of the district. However, the first waves of demolition and the implementation of the urban renovation policies have resulted in questioning in architectural and urban values of this estate, but also, at the same time, the capacity of project to change social practice. The concept of heritage has been deeply operated in the debates, as if the intensive renovation of large housing area was accompanied by a change of the perception of this urban form. Obvious rehabilitation carried out by Roland Castro and Sophie Densov, Paul Schemeter, Christian Rosenbach, and Lacaton, Jean-Philippe Bassal, or Frédéric Drouot, suggest relying on the potential of the building heritage. The argument of patrimonialization is not the only one to consider. The issue of economy and the sustainable development should also be taken into account. The urban project is not a token architecture project, but the beginning of the process opening to prospect for a major transformation of the long-term district in order to assert its integration within the world town. Philippe Panray. The urban railroad project should be the opportunity to recognize the existing value in this district, architectural and urban values, which have been recognized in cities as well as social values. Renovating in an extraordinary means to innove, invent, improve, reconstruct. Architects and town planners have been able to carry out an innovative project. Not be the will of the project manager alone, but in real connection with a global city project supported by the local political actors and by social landlords who were concerned about taking part in an innovative prospect. Social housing has often been an instigator to innovation. This systematic approach about district sends us back to the popular representation, which were extensively covered by the media and which used a descriptive vocabulary from the medical register. Jean Rivière. Underlining the pathologic characteristic of a place and of its inhabitant. The construction of a specific image about suburban has justified the intervention of demolition in large housing areas and the war policy carried out by the state and the town operators. There was already a monopoly controlling this image in order to promote the policy of the state based on land planning and urban planning. At the end of the urban renovation, the evaluation from ARM, Committee for the Evaluation and the Follow-up of the National Agency for Urban Renovation in France, show that most inhabitants are satisfied, even if young people remain very critical. Honorable change in the inhabitant living environment is emerging. The inhabitants feel safer and they also feel when they are no longer live in an estate. New confidence about their position in the city seems to be emerging. Barbara Allen. But whether these changes are permanent is uncertain because there has been rising social greediness among inhabitants. For public actors, urban renovation makes it possible to solve the problem of suburbs. It's the opportunity to take care of a stigmatized heritage and revive the territory. Mayor becomes the main actor of a territory in which he could not or hardly act. It's possible for social landlords to refresh the social composition of the residents and also to revive their heritage. Architects and town planners break new ground in the use of materials, in the chips of housing units, or in the treatment of public areas. If the success of the national urban regeneration programs can thus be presented as engineering, it's firstly because its achievements are visible and proportionality to how spectacularly the trace of the past are dispirited in the cloud of dust and the smell of powder. To evaluate the impact of the social representations of renovated districts, it is necessary to define the concept of social representation in itself and the identity was constructed it. After these first steps, all the representation can be collected and analyzed. The selected methods for on-site investigations are composed of studies of urban forms examined before and after being restored in connection with the way of living and the practice and use of public space. They also include interviews and readings of reports on assessment. Therefore, they are offered open of data which can be linked of identity social representation. The objective study of urban and architectural renewable forms through constructive, aesthetic and scientific expert assessment gives an overview of the renovated district and helps to identify the objective. This data collecting step precedes the world's analysis of representation. The conclusions of this analysis opens up their identification of the representations from the inhabitant, the actor of the city, the politicians, depending on how much underworld there have been in the district. The action of the urban policy in large housing areas has been aiming at revealing the representation of this district. Urban project constantly mobilizes social representation in order to justify town planning action to change space. Trying to identify this representation in renewable district to understand how perceptions are constructed and how they are changed. It also helps to evaluate to what extent the urban policy intervention on urban and and architectural form had an impact on the social representation of this district. Is it the urban renovation enough need to change the social representation of this district? Thank you very much.
I just wanted to ask if the original inhabitants of those renovation, they continue there after the renovation, or some of them they move?
C'est la genèse d'un travail, c'est une réflexion suite à l'étude de formes architecturales et urbaines de quartier. À l'issue de ce travail, donc c'était formé urbaines et architecturales à l'issue de la rénovation urbaine entre 2003 et 2013. La réflexion, c'est l'évaluation sur les représentations après cette rénovation. Est-ce que ça a un impact sur les représentations? Donc c'est la suite, et ça c'est le socle pour le travail à venir de la recherche.
I wanted to know if the original habitat of those developments continue after the restoration, or some of them they move from that area, from the district.
C'est la suite.
No, but maybe you can translate.
The part of original inhabitants move to another district, okay? And there's a great part of inhabitants stay.
And the second question was, how much or what's the level of involvement of this original inhabitant in the process of renovation?
Participation? Yes, involvement.
The first renovation, dépend district. But now, habitants participent more. It's evaluation, first renovation, transformation, and then it's necessary habitants participate to the project.
Thank you.
My question is related to hospital catalysts, and actually it's what I am thinking about for years while I'm in practice, also in theory, in lecturing, and dealing with participation. So we are all thinking about participation as making sense together, making common sense, using consensual communicative action. However, I'm wondering in regards to urban form or architectural form, is it possible to have an aesthetically consensual form which can pass through criteria of basic aesthetics? Or what do you think? Are there any limitations of participation in that regard, or it can be mediated as well? So are participants or people who maybe don't have aesthetic education or talent capable to contribute aesthetically to coherent urban form or architectural form? Yes.
Oh, sorry. Well, my answer would be, I think that better at it than architects are at understanding how images want to do. And when I see, I don't know whether it was built, I think it was formed, was I wonder what on earth that was achieving, because I think, and I'll make it even worse, I think random innovation in volume housing is worse than no innovation at all. But really, if you take it back to the relationship of client to architect, yes, I've been in a situation with a small scheme in Oxford where Oxford City Council offered a group of tenants and people on the waiting list for tenancies to be involved in designing their own housing. And it took several months of 2 evenings a week for them to get there, but in the end they were tutored in the architects.
So is there an end of the modern project or is it continuing?
Well, it depends what's modern. I mean, if you're talking about historic modernism, possibly yes.
Modern project.
Well, but people can appreciate good if it's in
Yeah.
I mean, it is more difficult to get a consensus of the group.